happy to see you. I would just like us to take the opportunity to get together and remind ourselves on how to expect positive behavior by modeling positive behavior. Let's take a look. Go Bears!
School-wide positive behavior interventions and support is a framework or approach comprised of intervention practices and organizational systems for establishing the social culture, learning, and teaching environment, and individual behavior supports needed to achieve academic and social success for all students. So in short, PBIS being a framework means that we have systems in place, we have data components that need to be addressed so that students can be successful, not only at school, but beyond school. And these are the tiers for support to PBIS. And we have to make sure that we are addressing everything within the circle in order for PBIS to be effective. So the only way we can have outcomes is if we have the systems in place, we are utilizing data, and we are practicing those things that make PBIS work. So what are those things? Well, here on the very basic level, we have our CCCS Bear Mantra. Please make certain to have students recite their Bear Mantra daily. This may seem mundane and unnecessary, but it's basically one of those things, if you practice it, then it is going to be embedded in the minds and spirit of our students, and they will unconsciously be prepared, embody compassion, be accountable for their actions, show respect, and they will also safeguard their homes. Make sure students know their bare basics. Don't ignore this during distance learning. Also, utilize the components of the virtual learning matrix. Some of the basics being logging in on time, present, actively engaged, and you can have students read one of these each day, read them all before class, during a warm-up, as they leave class. They can also, you can kind of use it as an exit ticket, like who remembers one component of the letter A of our virtual learning matrix. PBIS and virtual learning, please keep the following in mind. Students need positivity now more than ever. This pandemic is creating fear, anxiety, stress, and boredom. We have to counter this with as much positivity as we can. Seek out opportunities to spotlight your students' behavior and achievements. Strengthen and cultivate partnerships with parents. Use Parent Square to update parents as to what's going on in your class. See Brenda if you need help. And also turn to Mr. Ford and Mrs. Williams as they use Parent Square regularly. And there are other teachers that use it as well, but I'm highlighting those two because they're on the PBIS team. Oh, and I had an aha moment. If your students don't have a desk to work from, let me, Mrs. Means, know. Because CCCS can loan a few students individual desks. We want them to have work environments that are conducive to being successful. So if a student is slouching on the sofa or laying in the bed and it looks like they don't have a workspace, we can lend them a desk. Use the below suggestions to distribute Bear tickets. The students attended class. They showed leadership skills. They demonstrated the Bear basics. They collaborated. They demonstrated resilience, or they demonstrate resilience on an ongoing basis. They worked effectively in breakout rooms. They were active learners. They showed creativity, demonstrated the Bear mantra. They were participating. They turned in assignments and completed their digital task. And they asked for help, which we know is a big issue for our middle schoolers, asking for help. And I do see the typo right here where it says competed digitally.
As we refresh ourselves about PBIS and now think about how to implement it over Zoom, it is really important for us to think about the language that we use. I am very guilty of using words like don't and no. But now, being that these students are in this predicament, and we all are with this pandemic, it is important for us to start thinking about using positive words over negative. So instead of saying don't run, don't climb, and don't and no, we can start changing those words to like use your walking feet, keep your feet on the floor, use a calm voice. And using those type of terms will help not only motivate students, but help them understand your expectations in a different way. And maybe that one little way, that one positive way will actually motivate them to do better and want to do better. That's the real goal of PBIS.
Ways to celebrate. Yay! So just shout the kids out in class. Some of you guys are doing a great job of that. You're shouting the kids out right then and there. They know that you see them, you see what that they're doing is good, and they love that acknowledgement, even if they seem like they're sitting there with blank stares. They appreciate it. Send me the bear tickets, the names of the students that are receiving bear tickets. And then let me know if there's a specific student that you want to spin the wheel. Because the ones that are emailed to me, I put them in the little red drum and spin them and pull them. But you can tell me like, hey, this kid really did an amazing job and I just want them to have a wheel spin. Call, email, or send a direct message through Parent Square to a parent with positive praise. That goes a long way. Reward growth. So even if a child is struggling with a low grade in your class, but they brought maybe a low F up from a 14% to a 33%, encourage that kid. Tell them that you see the growth that they're making and let them feel like they can get out of the hole. Give bonus points for consistent effort. Do something silly to celebrate, such as hat day, superhero day, pajama day, eat a snack together. Have a surprise Zoom movie. They report to class and it's like, hey, you guys did awesome. This class did amazing. We're going to watch a movie together. Give the day off for growth. Maybe an entire class, you give them a goal to reach. They reach the goal. They show up to class and you tell them, you know what? Sign off. We're going to take the day off from class. But you got to go to your next class. Give them the opportunity to leave class early. And this could be few and far in between, but nevertheless, it gives the kids like a, what? And they're excited and they're surprised. Teach students something random. Ironing a shirt, making a sandwich. Just breaks the monotony of being online all day long. Recognize parents for their support. They can wear their yellow school t-shirt. Let them know. Everybody who has a yellow school t-shirt, you can wear it. If you don't have a yellow school t-shirt, shoot Miss Means an email. I have them at the school. They can make arrangements and come pick one up. Take pictures and videos of class happenings and upload them to Photo Circle. And then we can share them during the Wednesday assembly. But let me know that that's something you want to do. And then just some things to keep in mind of what effective teachers do. Cultivate a positive reputation. You want to be that teacher is like, my teacher is the best because my teacher listens, because my teacher understands. My teacher is, you don't want to be that teacher is like, my teacher's a jerk. If that's the reputation, then there's probably some validity to that. And it's like, why? Why are you known to be like something negative to your students? Regularly communicate with students and parents, greet students daily, know your students on a personal level, as personal as you can get under the circumstances. Be sincere, be honest, be direct, be clear. Let students know that you care. Notice small accomplishments, praise appropriate behaviors often. Make eye contact, provide immediate feedback, teach your routines ongoingly. Don't think that once is enough. Avoid confusion, proactively structure the environment, clearly state positive expectations, create a climate of positive expectations, establish effective management techniques, provide a rationale for what they do. The kids should understand what they're doing, why they're doing it. Model appropriate expected behaviors. Think through a discipline plan and convey it to the students. Have well thought out and structured procedures. Teach procedures often. Rehearse procedures until they become class routines. Then you are effective. Yay! In your well-managed class, there are high rates of engaged time. There's high rates of student success. Teacher maintains student attention. There are smooth and effective transitions. You teach the rules about transitioning and you pre-correct and advance organizers. Clear group rules. So like when the students are breaking out into breakout rooms, make sure that you're making those rules clear. What should they be doing? How should they be doing that? Positive climate. Communicate expectations for achievement. You want to make sure that you have, and then this is hard because obviously we're participating in distance learning, but even encouraging them to have a safe, orderly environment by which they're doing their work. And then you want to have smooth group prevention management strategies. And that again is more when they're in person, but again, it still works for distance learning because you want them to maintain a safe environment for all when they do their breakouts. You want to have appropriate pacing. Don't go through things too quickly. And I know you guys had spoke on this before where it was mentioned about not doing too much in a little bit of time, transitioning your educational software from one to the other, maybe where you're only doing two or utilizing two platforms in one class period, allowing the kids to transition from one to the other with some time spent if there's some troubleshooting that needs to take place. Frequent questioning. Appropriate feedback is given to the students. And there are high expectations for student learning. Incentives and recognition are used to promote excellence. And there is something between teachers and students that are positive. I can't read it. I don't remember. And then students require discipline, and we want them to become better humans. And discipline helps people be better because discipline gives structure. It provides structure. If you don't have a disciplined environment, it causes chaos, and the kids may seem like it's like, oh, hey, this teacher is so cool, but it's really confusing to the kids. So please make certain that you have a disciplined environment, and discipline, you want it to be positive versus punitive. Discipline is a teaching. It's a learning kind of relationship, as the similarity of the word disciple suggests. By helping our children learn to be self-disciplined, we are also helping them to learn how to become independent of us. Sooner or later, they must. And we are helping them learn how to be loving parents and children of their own. What are the reasons for the negative behaviors? Address the behaviors at the source. Keep in mind, students are going through things now that they can't necessarily articulate. So you have to be a super sleuth. Common functions of behavior are to either get or obtain, avoid, or escape. So they're trying to get attention or obtain attention from an adult or a peer. Are they trying to avoid or escape attention? And the same for sensory stimulation, get or obtain sensory stimulation, avoid or escape it, stimulation, sensory stimulation. Or are they trying to get or obtain something tangible like an object, a task, or activity? Or are they trying to avoid it? So what is it? What is the function? And many of you can pick up on this really quick, and then you can help the child navigate through what is causing for the negative behavior.
Social emotional skill sets are what will get not only your students, but you through these stressful and incredibly hard times. Help children recognize when they need to regulate, communicate needs, and make responsible choices. SEL strategies are embedded and reinforced. So as you think about your lessons and you think about your next Zoom meeting with your students, it is important that you take a moment to say, how are you doing? How are you feeling today? How was your weekend? What is one fun thing you did with your family over the weekend? Students want to feel that we care for them. Students want to feel that we're not only invested in their education, but just also in them in general. When we do that, it helps them relieve stress. I know it helps me. And that's so important for students not only be stress free in this pandemic that we're going through, but to also be engaged in your class. So then if you embed these SEL strategies within your academics, within your lessons, students will feel more engaged. They will feel more driven to do the work. At least that's the goal. We want them to be driven. So think about that as you do your next lesson. Think about what's one small SEL strategy I can add in my lesson to help my students overcome the situation that we're going through, but then also to keep them engaged within your classroom and let them know you truly care about their situation.